Hi, scientist, welcome. Let us learn quadratic expression and equation together. We are going to look for equation of the form a x squared plus b x plus c. Here, a is a constant, and b is also a constant, and c is a constant. Now, this is what is called quadratic expression. In case we equate to 0 as shown here, when this one is equated to 0, then this is what is called quadratic equation. Now, we are going to look at how we factorize quadratic equation like this one. This is a x squared plus b x plus c, whereby a, b, and c are a constant. We are going to look at two cases. Case 1, it is whereby a is equal to 1, and case 2, a is not equal to 1, a is greater than 1. Also, we are going to solve the quadratic equation of this form. Ax squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0. We are going to have two cases. Case 1, a is equal to 1, and case 2, a is not equal to 1. So we start factorize. So we want to consider the first case whereby a is equal to 1. So we are going to have x squared plus 2x plus 1. So to factorize this equation, our a here now is 1. So our product is equal to 1. Our sum is equal to 2, this one. So we find two numbers whereby when we multiply, we are going to get 1, and when we add, we are going to get 2. Our numbers is 1 and 1. 1 times 1 is 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. So we substitute 2x. We substitute 2x with 1x and 1x. So we are going to have x squared plus x plus x plus 1. So we pair them. We pair the first two and the last two. So here x is common, so you have x into bracket x plus 1. Here 1 is common, plus 1 into bracket x plus 1. So we can see now into bracket x plus 1 is common. So we are going to factorize x plus 1. So you will have x plus 1. Here we will be left with the x plus 1. Hence, we have factorized our equation in a simple step method. Part 2. We are going to have this case 2, whereby a is not equal to 1. Whereby a is not equal to 1. For example, let us have 3x squared plus 6x plus 3. In this case, our product is equal to 3 times 3, which is equal to 9. Our sum is equal to 6. So we find two numbers whereby when you multiply them, we are going to get 9, and when we add them, we are going to get 6. Our numbers, it is 3 and 3, because 3 times 3 is 9. 3 plus 3 is 6. So we are going to have 3x squared plus 3x plus 3x plus 3. Then we factorize. 3 is common. We pair the first two and the last two. Here 3 is common, so we have 3x is common. We are going to have x plus 1. Here 3 is common, 3. We are going to have x plus 1. So you can see x plus 1 is common, so we are going to have x plus 1 into bracket 3x plus 3. So we have factorized our equation in a simple step method. So the next thing we are going to do now, we are going to see how do we solve the quadratic equation. So the next thing we want to look at is solving the quadratic equation of this form: a x squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0. Case 1, we are going to consider where a is equal to 1. For example, let's say we have x squared minus 6x plus so we are going to solve this equation is equal to 0. So the first thing which we are going to do is to get our product. Our product is 9. Our sum is negative 6. So 9, we get two numbers, 3, negative 3 and negative 3. So negative 3 times negative 3 is 9, negative 3 plus negative 3 is negative 6. So we will have x squared minus 3x plus 9 is equal to 0. So here we can factor x. We will be left with x minus 3. Minus, here we can factor 3. We are going to have x minus 3, which is equal to 0. So x minus 3 is common. And then we will have x minus 3, which is equal to 0. So there are two possibilities. Either x is equal to 3 or x is equal to 3. So this is what is called a perfect quadratic equation. That is a perfect quadratic equation. Case 2, we are going to consider this equation now. Case 2, we are going to have a, whereby now case 2, a is not equal to 1. A is greater than 1. So that is the case we want to consider. And to do that, we are going to use example. So we have example, we have 3x squared minus 6x plus 3 is equal to 0. So our product here, is equal to 9. Our sum is equal to negative 6. So we come up with the two numbers, which when we multiply will give us 9, which is negative 3 and negative 3. Because negative 3 times negative 3 is 9, and when we add, we are going to get negative 6. So we substitute 6 here with them. So we are going to have 3x squared minus 3x minus 3x plus 3, which is equal to 0. Then we are going to factor 3x here, it is common, 3x, we are going to be left with x minus 1. Minus 3 is common, we will get x minus 1, which is equal to 0. Then we shall have 3x minus 3. Then you have x minus 1, which is equal to 0. So there are two possibilities here. We can either have, 3x minus 3 is equal to 0, meaning that 3x is equal to 3, meaning that x is equal to 1. Or we could have x minus 1 is equal to 0. So you have x minus 1, which is equal to 0. So x is equal to 1. So that is how we solve the quadratic equation using factorization, and that is how we factorize quadratic equation in a simple step method. So in our next study, we are going to look at how to solve quadratic equation using method of completing the square. So stay tuned, and we are going to see how we can solve quadratic equation using method of completing square, and we are going to learn together. Thank you so much for watching this video. Stay tuned for more such videos which are going to come on your way. Thanks, guys.